I'm going live, so hold on. Chris Johnson is live. Chris is live, always live. I'm going live, fuck that. I gotta clean my legs anyway. Alright, so the limbs are cleaner. The limbs are cleaner. Murad is here, so it's whatever. Early bird ticket. Early bird ticket.
Folks, we know you're enjoying the time, mingling, networking, but if you can please have your attention for a few minutes, we're going to go ahead and start the program for the evening.
If you can hear me, clap once.
Sorry.
If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap 3 times. Thank you.
Murad is the person you hired if you want the crowd's attention. Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everybody. My name is Saman Raqad. I am the president of the MDCN Live Board for 2025-2026. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight. We're going to go ahead and start the program for the evening. We do have some guests here who need to make their way to other commitments. So I am actually just going to hand it off to Rob and I'll be back on the mic afterwards.
Assalamu alaikum. Alright, I know that this is like a Muslim event, but this is going to be a quick program. So we just want people to give us their attention. The conversation can continue. We're going to be here for a minute. Right? I'm going to start calling people out by their name. Just kidding. My name is Murad Awada. I'm a former president of the Muslim Democratic Club of New York and currently a member at large. It is with great pleasure that we see the club continuing to do amazing work across the city of New York and continue to fight for our communities, regardless of wherever the fight is coming from, be it City Hall, the state, or the federal government. This is not new to us as people who have been doing this fight for a long time, but we have champions who have stood with us and continue to stand with us in times when they're good and in times when our communities are under attack. So I'd like to introduce some champions of ours who we have supported, currently supporting, or have supported. And first up, I'd love to introduce our amazing sister from the amazing Sunset Park, someone who needs no real introduction to this club. Marcella has been doing amazing organizing before becoming an assembly member, but even more so in the state legislature, she continues to champion all of our communities. So join me in welcoming Marcella Matenas, assembly member for Sunset Park, up to the mic.
Thank you, everyone. I am State Assembly Member Marcella Matenas. I am the first immigrant indigenous Peruvian in the New York State Legislature. I am just overwhelmed and really happy to be here in community. As someone who grew up in Sunset Park and now have the honor to represent them at the state level, we know that our communities have been neglected for a really long time, and we know that the way to build power is to organize. But we need to also get involved into electoral politics, and at this moment, when we are talking about electing a new mayor, the thought that is someone that's coming from our community, the thought that people are reacting to a message from someone who's Muslim, to me is very moving. As someone who feels very important that I highlight who I am and what I look like, I know what it does to our people to know that there's someone representing them, to know that there's someone who's standing for values, in contrast to everything that we're called because we're immigrants. and a reminder that it doesn't matter that English isn't our first language, that we are rooted in our community, we are leaders in our community, and we are ascending into positions of power. So I'm very honored to be here and continue to work and fight with you alongside you. Thank you.
Let's give it up for our sister Marcella. Next up, I'd like to welcome up to the mic another sister of ours from Brooklyn, representing Central-ish Brooklyn, from downtown Brooklyn up. Someone who has been a champion for our elders and making sure that they continue to get the supports they need, making sure that our seniors are getting halal food at senior centers, making sure that they stay housed, because we know that this housing crisis that we are witnessing unfold for the past couple of years has been detrimental to our communities. I want you all to welcome up to the mic our sister Crystal Hudson, New York City Council member.
Thank you so much, Murad. Because he talked about older adults, I just want to share something very quickly. I'm chair of the Aging Committee in the New York City Council. And for those of you who don't know, the older adult population is going to grow by 40% in New York City by the year 2040. So just in the next 15 years, 40% increase in our older adult population. And the fastest growing segment of that population are immigrant older New Yorkers. And so it is a point of pride for me to not deliver just for our immigrant New Yorkers, but for our immigrant older adults, most specifically to those who don't speak English as their first language, to make sure that they have access to all of the resources and services that they deserve. So it's been with the support of MDCNY that I've been able to do the work that I do, and so I'm here to support the club in turn. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Crystal. One thing that is guaranteed, or a couple things that are guaranteed in life, is that we will get older, inshallah. And I think we end up not realizing the challenges that it takes to stay in our homes when we get to a certain age. So I definitely appreciate the work that you have been doing and continue to champion our communities across the board. So thank you, Crystal. Next up, another amazing champion, someone who's actually running for both of them are running for re-election, so support them. But join me in welcoming up to the mic for another amazing elected official who hails from Sunset Park as well. I'm from Sunset Park, by the way, so like regardless of what anyone says about anyone from Sunset Park, Sunset Park always takes the cake. We are the best community in the entire city of New York. I don't want to hear from anyone else. Everyone from Queens is like, oh no, Jackson Heights. Great place, but it's not Sunset Park. JK, everyone's amazing. All right. I'm sorry for joking with you all. Next up, welcome up to the mic, our immigration chair in the New York City Council, Councilwoman Alexa Aviles.
Y'all peeped the little dance, right? You saw her, Swanson to the house. I just want to thank you for the invitation tonight. Thank you for the support. It is both my honor and my privilege to stand unapologetically with my Palestinian siblings. And you know, I let people know that Boricuas and Palestinians in Sunset Park are one people.
That's right.
And we share the story of colonization. And we share the story of struggle and liberation. And so I will never step away from that.
That's right.
And I will always affirm your beautiful people, your survival, your liberation, the equality, and the love. And so I always have your back, without question. And you know, it's been a grind, y'all, but you know, we are proud to do this work together, and you have my commitment to support the whole community, right? Because it is our collective struggle to make sure that all our peoples are liberated, they receive equality, and they receive dignity, the dignity that our children as well as our elders deserve. So I want to thank you for your support, and let's continue to build this incredible movement that we're building. Do not give up. We won't give up because we're persistent people. That's why we're here. Because we stand on the shoulders of greatness. And we have teachings that are so ancient, that are part of this land and all the lands around the globe. So I want to thank you with much gratitude, and we'll continue to fight for all people, and particularly, I got to bring in the students, right? The students who have been standing on the front line, showing people what it is to be courageous, and putting it on the line. And we need to make sure that Mahmoud Khalil comes home. We need to make sure that they all come home and that they are welcomed back into this community. And so thank you. I fight with you. I stand in solidarity. And we're one people, right? Much love. Thank you.
Okay, folks. Good old boring me, because I can't match any of the folks that are going to be up here on the stage today. So again, my name is Saman Wakat. I'm the president of the MDCNY board for 25. So a lot of you, I can see, are big fans of MDCNY. The club has worked tirelessly over the past decade to help elect folks into office that keep our needs and our priorities and our representation in mind. And you're going to get a little taste of that tonight, as you have already. I'm actually going to go ahead and introduce one of our main guests for the evening. Among the giants that are going to be in this room, she is definitely one of them. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you Linda Sarsour. Linda Sarsour. I know many of you have seen Linda, maybe spoken to Linda, but I'm going to read you her full bio so you know everything she's about. So Linda Sarsour is an award-winning racial justice and civil rights activist, seasoned community organizer, direct action strategist, and mother of 3. She is also one of the co-founders of the Muslim Democratic Club of New York. Ambitious, outspoken, and independent, Linda shatters stereotypes of Muslim women while also treasuring her religious and ethnic heritage, which is obvious to see. She's a Palestinian Muslim American and a self-proclaimed pure New Yorker born and raised in Brooklyn. She is the co-founder of the first Muslim online organizing platform, Empower Change, and co-founder of Until Freedom, an intersectional racial justice organization which is focused on direct action and power building in communities of color. Until Freedom is best known for their work on the Breonna Taylor police murder case, which was in Louisville, Kentucky. Linda was one of the national co-chairs of the largest single-day protest in U.S. history, which many of you may know was the Women's March on Washington. She has been named amongst 500 of the most influential Muslims in the world, so we are very lucky to have her locally here amongst us. She was recognized as one of Fortune's 50 greatest leaders and featured on one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in the world. Linda was the youngest woman and first Muslim to receive the Margaret Brent Medal at St. Mary's College. She has been honored by dozens of local and national entities, including the New York Women's Foundation, Jews for Racial and Economic Justice, the New York City Council, President Barack Obama, Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, the Black Institute, the NCAAP, New York Conference, the Ms. Foundation, amongst others. Linda has received the 2023 Daughter of Greatness Award from the Muhammad Ali Center and the 2023 Heman and Sewitt Award from the National Bar Association. Linda is also the author of We Are Not Here to Be Bystanders. If you don't have a copy, you should get one. And it is a memoir of love and resistance. It was published by Simon & Schuster. She is most recognized for her transformative intersectional organizing work and movement building. I would like for everyone to please quiet down on the conversations and let's give it up for Linda.
Give it up one more time for Saman, who is the new board president of the Muslim Democratic Club of New York. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, that's a weak Muslim New Yorkers. I don't know, my friends. I know it's hot in here, or it might just be me. I might be having hot flashes. Assalamu alaikum. I am very deeply honored and humbled to be here today with such an incredible group of people. And to be honest with you, as someone who is one of the co-founders of MDCNY, alongside Faiza Ali, who's here today, Alia Latif, who's also here today, Ali Najmi, who's also here today, we are very proud that we came together in 2013, which was a very long time ago, just so you all know. And here we are 12 years later, and watching this incredible club continue to flourish, continue to thrive, continue to support champions here in New York City. Somebody asked me the other day, why is there a Muslim Democratic Club? Why are you with the Democrats? And I thought I'd make that clarification on the record here today, just in case it was not clear why we are Muslim Democrats in New York. In New York, we only have closed primaries, my friends. That's just how New York works. So you can't be someone and go into a polling site and say, I'm a Republican, I want to pull a Democratic ballot, or I'm a Democrat and I want to pull a Republican ballot, because we are not like the state of Michigan. We have closed primaries. And if we want to build Muslim political power in New York City, we have to do it on party lines. And in New York City, we are fortunate to have incredible Democratic champions like Alexa, like Crystal, like the many folks across New York City who stand with our communities. That is why we are the Muslim Democratic Club of New York. Because of the work that we have done, all of us, leaders, imams that have supported us over the last 12 years, organizers and activists from our community and outside of our community, because MDCNY can't be what it is without our partners and those who love and support us. It is because of clubs like ours that we have Shahana Hanif in the City Council. It is because a club like ours that there could be a Yusuf Salam in the New York City Council. It is because a club like ours that we can see a Zohran Mamdani go to the New York State Assembly. So do not underestimate what we are trying to do as a club. We had a vision, and we are still here today. And there were many naysayers, but we stayed focused. And now we are on the verge of making history here in New York City again. Sisters and brothers, we as Muslims believe to put our trust in Allah. We say, tawakkul, we trust in Allah. And people forget the second half of what we're supposed to do. And that's called tying your camels. And in New York City, we're going to tie our camels. And we're going to do the work. And as you came here to celebrate with the Muslim Democratic Club of New York, I want the same people to show up when we are canvassing for Kayla Santososo in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. When we are canvassing for Alexa Aviles in Sunset Park. When we are on the streets of every borough canvassing for Zohran Mamdani to be the next mayor of New York City. Don't allow people to tell you what is possible. No one gets to determine what is possible for us. And Muhammad Ali has a great quote that has been something that has motivated me for the last 25 years of doing this work. Impossible is an opinion. In fact, impossible is a dare. And for me, when someone tells me something is impossible, you're daring me to make it happen. And so I'm asking you, Muslims that are here today, those of you who are politically engaged, those of you who go out and vote and participate in elections, that it's not just about you as an individual. It's about what you are willing to do in your communities. Many of you are members of mosques. Many of you are affiliated with professional organizations. Some of you here have about 300 people that you would call your immediate family. And you got a lot of work to do because you can't organize people outside of those who you know personally. You have a job. If your mother isn't registered to vote, she needs to be. If your cousin isn't registered to vote, they need to be. You have to organize your block. You have to organize the professional institutions that you are a part of. It is your job to do the work. Zohran Mamdani has done his job. He has already met the maximum fundraiser. You can't even give the man $1 if you wanted to. I do got another way that you could give it. We're going to talk about that some other time. You cannot give Zohran $1. So he already did his job. He has over 17,000 volunteers across this city. The question is, are you one of them? Because I'm one of them. Are you one of those 17,000 volunteers? Zohran has knocked on over 85,000 doors, which is more doors than all the campaigns combined. The question is, how many doors did you knock? Sisters and brothers, I'm going to tell you this here. And I'm actually going to wait for a second while folks quiet down while I'm about to say some things. Shh. It's one of the reasons why we don't get to where we need to as fast as we can, because the Muslims don't listen. But I'm hoping the Muslims that are here are ready to listen. We have a lot of work to do and not a lot of time. The primary is June 24th. This week, we're going to start the month of May. We have no time. We have to knock on every masjid door, on every small business, talk to young people in our lives, talk to our parents, our grandmothers, and have a plan not only for ourselves, but for those that we love to get up and go to the polls. It's not going to work without us. There are at least 200,000 registered Muslim voters in New York City, and we may not be even capturing them all because they may not all match our surname list. Zohran can win if we participate. Zohran can win if we do the work. But if we are waiting for Zohran to do the work by himself without our community, it's not going to happen, my friends. So let's not wake up on June 25th and say, oh man, I wish I could have done a little more. I wish that I would have went out just one more Saturday. I wish I would have just done one more phone bank. I wish that I would have just sent 100 more texts. Please do not be in the place of regret on June 25th. You have the opportunity to send a young Indian American Muslim born in Uganda to the New York City Council. We are the media capital of the world. We are literally an international city. We're not talking about a mayor of a small town in Nebraska. We are talking about New York City, my friends. Imagine that, the message that you send to young people across this country about what is possible. And when Zohran started this process to run for mayor, you best to believe there were a lot of people that thought the man was out of his mind. All people need is for somebody to believe in them. You know how many times people told me there were things that I couldn't do? And if I would have succumbed to the skepticism of our community, I would not be in the place that I am today, nor would this club be where it is today. So tonight we're going to make some commitments. And we're going to sign up to volunteer with the Muslim Democratic Club of New York. When we call you and send you an email to say, come outside, trust me, phone banking with us or knocking doors with us is a great experience, right? We got the list, all you got to do is show up, knock some doors. Because there are people who want us to lose. Don't get me started, I can get into it. I don't have to name who wants us to lose here. Because Zohran is running on a platform that is resonating with New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. And you already know his platform. He's done a great job of branding that platform. But what we have to sit with is not just a platform that not only resonates with New Yorkers and of course impacts the people we come from too, but Zohran is unapologetically pro-Palestine. He is unequivocal solidarity with our people. He is bold and brave, and this is the kind of politician that we deserve in New York City. Sisters and brothers, the ask is tall. And I'm not saying this is going to be easy. But I know if we all do this together, if we all commit together and say that in the next almost 7.5 weeks, that we're going to do everything that we can, we're going to talk to everybody that we can, we're going to make sure all the people we know vote, I promise you, sisters and brothers, on June 24th, on 9:30 p.m., we hope that we're going to stand together at a party somewhere in New York City with Alexa, with Zohran, with Sandy, with Crystal, with all of our champions, with Justin Brandon, with Kayla, those that we have endorsed as a club, and say that we won together. Y'all ready for that? Y'all ready to win? Lastly, I'll say this. Oftentimes, some of you in this room text me every once in a while,
say, Sister Linda, I'm so heartbroken about what's happening to the Palestinian people. Sister Linda, what more can I do? I want to do something. Let me tell you about the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people, sisters and brothers, what is happening to them is not a test for the Palestinian people. That is a test for you. The Palestinian people, they understand that what has happened to them has been written for them. And they do what they can in their capacity. But there is no service of us as Muslims in the United States of America to send $20 so you could feed a family that's going to get murdered tomorrow by the foreign policy of your government. Charity is not what the Palestinian people need. What they want from you as American Muslims is to change the foreign policy of this country and stop the bombs that are being thrown on those children every single day. That's what they want from you. That's what they want from you. They keep saying, where are you? Where are the Muslims? That is what they are calling you to change the U.S. foreign policy here, and it starts on the local level. Oftentimes, we Muslims, we wake up every other year, every 4 years. All politics is local. If you start with the Zohran in the New York City Council, you set a precedent across this country. That's what you do. And that is why it is so important, and as a Palestinian American, I'm telling you today, that Zohran for mayor is an extension of the fight for Palestinian liberation. That is how you help the Palestinian people today, by demanding an arms embargo, by demanding an end to this genocide, by continuing to hold elected officials accountable, and by electing ones that stand with us on this issue and all issues that we care about. So y'all ready for that? Yeah. Y'all ready to win in June? Yeah. Y'all ready to do the work? All right. I just want to say there's a couple of great people that are in this room. Samana's telling me that I need to be quiet. She's so great. She came to tell me 1 minute when she knows damn sure well I went over by like 5 minutes. But thank you, Samana, for not making me feel as bad as I should. I have a dear friend who's here because we are New Yorkers and we like to welcome our friends who are not from the East Coast side. Please welcome my dear brother. Just say hello to Bassem El-Qadra. Many folks who are in the CARE family, the old CARE New York family, know him. He used to be the executive director of the CARE Sacramento chapter. He is now the new executive director of CARE Action, which is the C4 arm, the political arm of the CARE National Organization. He happened to be in town, found out that the Muslim Democrats were about to do some stuff, and so he made sure to come, network with him, talk to him, get his card. We hope to start a CARE Action New York here so that we can help the CARE C3 side be able to extend their work in the political process, and that will be done under the leadership of people like Bassem. So one more time, I want the current MDCNY board members to raise your hands. Raise them high so that we see you. If you are a current board member of the Muslim Democratic Club of New York, don't high. So we see them in the back. I see Farhan, I see Anna, I see Shamina. Who else is here? Murad, Alia, Farhan, Saman. So these people, so these people that got their hands up, these are the leaders. And they are incredible leaders. They're on calls 2-3 times a week. They are working hard. It is why you are all able to be in this space today. So give a round of applause to the MDCNY board. And inshallah, we are going to be celebrating, maybe in the beginning of July, we'll make another party, Saman, inshallah. So I'm going to pass the mic back to Saman. Who's the next person that got the mic? Oh, okay. All right. So I guess that's my job, which is a hard one. Many of you know this sister. I met this sister a long time ago when she was a mom and at some point became a grandma, which I still can't believe to this day, who was organizing based on the impact of the education system on her family. So she got up and said, I don't need nobody to lead me. I'm going to go outside and figure out what's going on over here, and I'm going to make sure that people hear me. And she worked hard, and she's been hustling in the streets of New York City on behalf of students and parents for close to 15 years, if not more than that. And I am so honored to tell you and to see the progress of people in our community and leaders in our community. The Zakia Ansari is now the co-executive director of the Alliance for Quality Education, and we are so proud of her, and she is going to be the next line up to introduce our next speaker. So everybody give it up for Zakia Ansari.
Assalamu alaikum. All right, I wrote down myself because I can make a living with us too. I can talk for days, so we try to keep it brief. It is an honor to be here. I pray everyone had a blessed Eid. I know it's a post-Eid celebration. You know, as an organizer, I don't mind telling people back there, if y'all get something to eat, it's cool, but if we keep it down, that's even better. So I also want to preface by saying the words and opinions I express today are mine and mine alone, not my organization's. But for 25 years, I have been in the fight for educational justice. I graduated 8 children out of New York City public schools, and 3 of my 4 grandchildren attend middle school in Brooklyn. And while I no longer live in New York City, my children, grandchildren, and my mother still do. So I cut my organizing teeth on the harmful education policies of Michael Bloomberg when he was mayor. A time when he acquired more power through mayoral control and used it to close over 160 public schools and supported the proliferation of charters and tried to silence parents over his 12-year tenure. In 2010, Governor Cuomo came into office, and he promised that he understood that, and I'll keep going to definition another time, but the foundation aid, which was the dollars needed to fund our public schools, was something that needed to be fulfilled, that we needed to fully fund that. And as soon as he got into office, he cut a millionaire's tax that was funding education by $1 billion. I'm not sure how many people remember the Independent Democratic Conference, the IDC. Okay, yeah. Just a little history for those who don't know. This was a group of Democratic legislators who voted with Republicans. Let me say that again. A group of Democratic legislators that used their vote to side with Republicans voting on the state level. They were supported and encouraged by then Governor Cuomo. So I'm using Cuomo because that's my personal connection to what's happening. Now, he is a father, he is a son, and him as a person, people love him. But as a governor, he was horrible. And we all have the right to criticize and critique our elected officials. So we have the receipts. That was just a few things. There's so many more things I can talk about. But I think part of sharing that is to say that when they tell you who they are, believe them. There are other great folks running for mayor. He is not one of them. Right? He is not one of them. And we didn't even talk about the sexual harassment. That's a whole nother level. Right? And as we know, in this struggle for educational justice on anything else, we need folks who are going to be strong leaders, who are going to actually fight for the people, not for the ultra wealthy. Right? Who are going to make sure that when parents and students and educators, as we have brought them up to Albany over and over again, to tell their stories about what's not happening in their schools and what they need in their schools, that when you hear that story, you will move to action, not dismiss them. Because guess what? We see what happens. We're seeing what happens when you dismiss the voices of young people, parents, educators who know firsthand what they need. Let me be clear. You don't need a college degree. You don't need a PhD. When your child is in the school and they don't have art, when your child has special education needs and there's no teacher, when your child speaks more than one language or is learning English as a second language and there's no educators to teach them, it's not a rocket science to know that some funding needs to happen so your school can provide those services for your kids. Period. Right? I don't care if I come to school in hair rollers or a 3-piece suit. If my child is in that school and I have a concern in the school, and if I'm taking my voice to a city, state level, it still matters. Right? So this struggle is long. This organizing piece that Linda talked about is the way out. It is the way in. And if we're not willing to put our bodies on the line, If somebody's behind you, told you to say, brother, sister, can you keep it down a bit? We're almost over. Organize, organize, organize is what I learned. It is all of us together fighting for one thing. And in this moment, as I move into introducing someone really important who you all came to see. Organize, organize, organize. That's what we've heard we've heard Linda talk about it. We've heard Mirai talk about it. Organizing is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Right? And sometimes it took me a while to learn that, but when you get it, you understand that it is calculating, it is strategic, it is how Assembly member Zora Mamdani has been running this whole campaign strategically. So let me be clear. Assembly member Zora Mamdani, candidate for mayor in New York City. I've had the honor to work with him. And there's a handful of legislators on the state level that you could say they're going to ride or die. So this is before he had the idea of becoming mayor. This is when he stepped his toe into the state legislature to run for assembly. He has always been the one who never shied away from challenging anybody. I mean, you've seen the videos, but this is before the videos that his campaign is so eloquently and powerfully showing us. But you could always call on him to stand with us when it came to education. Lend your voice to it. And he was there. Again, there's a handful of them up there. And we have to make sure that people know that he was doing this before he was running for mayor. We need fearless fighters. We need folks who we know already are real and not fake. Right? I've heard folks who support Cuomo say, we need someone who can beat Trump. And I disagree. I think New York City needs someone who will care and fight for New York City. And by fighting for New York City, you are fighting against Trump.
Yes. Right.
But New York City is first.
Yes.
Right? And again, I want to say, I'm not jumping on Cuomo, but that is my personal connection. And so it makes sense to speak from what you know. So affordable housing, alhamdulillah, we can have it. New York City can have nice things, y'all. Don't let them trick you. Fully funded public schools, we can have that. Free universal child care, we can have that. Respect and dignity, it seems far away, but we can have that. Protection and support for our immigrant communities, alhamdulillah, we can have that. By having a mayor that does these things, we can actually change the trajectory of this country. Because so goes New York, and so goes California. You begin to create a precedent. I'll end by saying this. Hope, inspiration is something that is lacking in a lot of what's happening around this country. And this man has inspired so many, tens of thousands of folks. We cannot underestimate the power of hope. It allows us to get up the next day and do this thing again. In a moment when we'd rather just sit down and not get out and leave our homes. So let's put our hands together. Let's give a rounding applause. Let's shout to the rooftops. Introducing the mayoral candidate, Zora Mamdani.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here with you. In case you're wondering, yes, there was a thunderstorm outside. That's why I don't have my jacket, that's why I'm partially drenched. You know, this club means so much to me because this club is where my political journey began. And I speak a lot about picking up a copy of The Village Voice in 2015, seeing one of my favorite rappers endorse his childhood friend, Ali Najmi, running for city council, getting on the F train, getting off at 169th Street, door knocking with Ali, eating biryani with Ali. Take a moment to highlight the Muslim women who have been my mentors in my journey. And I would just ask if you could put your hands together, especially for Alia, for Faiza, for Linda, for Rama, for Tahani, for all of the women who led this club when I first got to this club in 2015, when I would go to the meetings that we had in boroughs across the city, and who showed me that to belong in this city also meant to belong in our politics. That we didn't have to give up any of ourselves in order to assert that belonging. And that was very powerful for someone who knew that I was a New Yorker, but I didn't know if my politics had a home in New York. If I, myself, was seen as belonging to the city by others. And they taught me that if you want freedom, and if you want equality, and if you want respect, you are not given those things. You have to win those things. And I learned the tools of how to win. Yes, I learned them over a number of different losses. But those are the lessons that stay with you the most. Standing on that stage in my kurta, crying as Khadr al-Yatim, as the election day we had came to an end and we were 8 points short. It was a lesson that changed my life. Because there's no other way to describe being willing to do a 3-hour round trip on the one train to the N train to the R train, to go to Bay Ridge from Morningside Heights, to sleep on your high school friend's floor in Bath Beach, to sleep on another friend's couch in Kensington and another friend's floor in downtown Brooklyn, because I believed. I believed, and that belief is so powerful. And it is that belief that so many are trying to rob us of in this moment. And something I hear a lot as the first Muslim elected official to ever run for mayor is uncles and aunties who come up to me and they say, no matter what happens, you've already won.
That's right.
And I appreciate it. I do appreciate it, and I know the meaning. Because there are so many young Muslims who are being told they have no place in this city, they have no place in this country, they may not even have no place in this world. And I remember looking at Abuna Khadr and seeing the possibility. And I hope every day that our campaign can give that same belief to so many across the city. But I want to make clear that we have not yet won. Because our goal is in fact to win this race. To win this race. And I want to tell you that we are on the brink of doing it. If you would have told someone that by the end of April, I would be polling at more than 20%, in second place, telling people to not send me money, then we would have knocked on 200,000 doors. If you would have told me, if you would have told anyone, they would have laughed at you. Because when I began, I was polling at 1%. I was being told that there was no path for this. Maybe it was an interesting idea, at best. But here we are, becoming the clearest contrast to Andrew Cuomo. Presenting New Yorkers with a choice on June 24th. That they need not simply have a disgraced executive of the past or a disgraced executive of the present. They can have the promise, the hope, the vision of the future. They can have a new generation of leadership. And I am saying this because I want you to know that in the next 59 days, we decide whether we win this race. We decide it. And we know what's coming. An unbelievable amount of money is going to come to say every little thing they can think about me. So far, they found out that I ran for vice president of Bronx Science and I didn't win. So far, they found out that my rap career generates $100 a month in royalties. There's not that much to find out. But they don't need the truth. Because they have the story already written.
You eat burritos on the train.
That's true, I do that. It's a regretful fact about it. But we can beat that money if we knock on the doors of New Yorkers across this city. And I say that because after Ali's race, Ali went to Dunkin' Donuts. And an uncle came up to Ali and said, Beta, I cannot wait for your election. He said, Uncle, election to kal tha. The election is yesterday. We don't want to let any uncle, auntie, any youngster, as we say that they wish they had knew. They wish they could have known. Oh, they would have done it if only they would have known. That's right. We want everyone to know. And that's in our hands. That's in our hands in this moment. And that's why I ask you to join this campaign. To join it and commit yourself to it. Because it's not about me. I'm not going to win this race. We can win this race. That's right. We can win this race. And we're going to win this race by bringing Muslims from the margins of our politics to the mainstream. We're going to win this race by finally treating Muslim voters with the respect that we deserve. With the same sophistication we would when a consultant speaks of the mythical triple prime voter. We can treat every Muslim in that way. Because so often, you respond to the way that you are treated. And if you are told that your vote is not worth a mailer, it's not worth a door knock, it's not worth a commercial, then you will not vote. And so we have to show the worth of that vote. And so I want to take a moment to shout out Muhammad, if you can raise your hand. Yes. Oh, let me be specific about which Muhammad. That Muhammad, if you can raise your hand. Hassan, if you can raise your hand. These are two brothers who are working in our campaign to create the most sophisticated get out the vote effort we've seen in our community thus far. And it's built on the work that has been done by so many people in this room for so long. And so I ask you, for every suggestion you may have, you have to commit to at least one door knocking shift.
Yes, yes.
So if there's an uncle who has an idea, you have to knock first. If there's an auntie who wants to tell me how to do it, you have to knock first. Because we need everyone knocking. And we know that when it is us knocking, our own aunties and uncles and youngsters, it's a whole different conversation than when it's someone else knocking on that door. And so I ask you to join us, because it's 59 days. 59 days to make history. Because we don't want to speak about this campaign as what a great attempt. We want to speak about this campaign as the one that changed the trajectory of this city. Yes. And the way we truly do that is by winning the race. And I will tell you a few things. We're in second place. We've raised $8 million. We've knocked on 230,000 doors. And we've only just aired our first commercial on television. We have a long way to go. Because we are going to tell this story of a city that New Yorkers can afford to each and every person. We're going to tell it on TV, we're going to tell it on TikTok, we're going to tell it at their door, we're going to tell it wherever New Yorkers think about themselves and their world. And it has been the honor of my lifetime to be a member of this club, to have been a board member of this club, to have been an endorsed candidate of this club. Because this is the club that showed me my worth in this city. And this is the club that can show New Yorkers their worth in this city. And in those 59 days, I look forward to seeing each and every one of you across the 5 boroughs and letting the political class of this city know that they have no idea about what New Yorkers want. Because what New Yorkers want is the dignity they've been denied year after year after year. They may not call themselves progressives or socialists, but they know that they've been left behind by the economic policies of this mayor and of politics today. And what we offer them is what they are worth. Because what we offer them is a future they can afford, and a future where they can return to the dream that once brought them to this city. That's right. So thank you all so much. Assalamu alaikum. And once again, if we can have a round of applause for the Muslim women who brought us to this point. And a little applause from Murad and Amin. Can I get it now? Zohran, 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 Zohran.
before you get too far away, I'm gonna keep you right there because I know people are gonna want to try to talk to you and take pictures. You gotta take some actions before we get there, folks. So we're not letting you take pictures until that happens. But I do want to give a quick shout out to our host committee. My apologies for not recognizing this earlier. But Meryl Sattar, Faiza Ali, Murad Awade, Sabra Haq, Alia Latif, Ali Najmi, and Nasser Soor. These are some of the fabulous people that made this evening happen. And so we want to give a big shout out to them. Thank you so much, our wonderful host committee. And I'm going to actually we will have time for everybody to pray Maghrib, so don't worry, there will be time to pray Maghrib. You can do wudu if you'd like. We have Zohran with us for just a few more minutes. You can take pictures with the Zohran, but first I'm going to have Farhan come up here. There's going to be some action items. Somebody's going to come up here. It's going to be Farhan.
Thank you so much, Saman. All right. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. How are we feeling? Amazing. Thank you so much, Farhan, for that. I really appreciate it. My name is Farhan. I'm the treasurer of MDCNY, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. First off, everyone here is a part of making history. We heard a couple of things that Farhan said about raising money and being at the cap. Everyone in this room is a part of that for making history. Now, I'm going to talk about what comes next. So, this is about action, this is about power, this is about using your voice when it matters most. So, quick show of hands, how many people understand what ranked choice voting is? Let's go, I should see everyone's hand up, come on. All right. Cool. Well, if you don't know what ranked choice voting is, I'm going to tell you, and you'll be a little more educated after this. Ranked choice voting, instead of voting for just one candidate, you can select up to 5 candidates in order of your preference in primary, special elections for mayor, comptroller, public advocate, borough president, and city council. So we have the mayoral election coming up, and it's important to know you don't have to rank all 5 of them. If not all of them appeal to you, you don't have to rank all of them. Just rank the candidates that you actually believe in, aka Zohran. So it's that simple and powerful, and most importantly, it's your choice. So as part of MDCNY, one of the things we did recently is we sent out endorsements for candidates for the mayoral election. We are encouraging people to rank Zohran Mamdani as number one for the mayoral election. And for number 2, we are encouraging people to rank Adrian Adams as number 2. So for the people in the back, Zohran Mamdani as number 1, and Adrian Adams as number 2 for the mayoral elections.
Whatever you want after that.
Whatever you want after that, you can keep it blank if you want. Except for Cuomo. There you go. Now, just a couple of action items to round us off, okay? So here's some things that you can do right now, okay? There's a table back there with some pamphlets and materials about Zohran's campaign. One of the things that we're doing is we're asking everyone here to take a pledge. The pledge is to vote in this cycle and vote for Zohran as 1 and Adrian Adams as number 2. So let's get a show of hands. Who's going to do that? Who is going to make that pledge? Who is making that pledge? Okay, I see some people with, might be a little tired. It's okay. I see a lot of hands up. All right. So number 1 is making that pledge. Number 2 is texting 5 people that you know and tell them to take a pledge. You can do that right now. You can take your phone out, text 5 people not in this room, right? Say, take this pledge. This is great candidate Zohran and Adrian wants you to vote and rank. Who's going to do that? Who's going to text them? You can do it after this event. Your train ride home. I'm visiting my nephews in Jersey. I'm going to have a long train ride. I'm going to text people during there. So let's see those hands one more time. Okay. So it was pledge, text 5 people. And then number 3, this piggybacks off what Zohran was saying. If you got suggestions, I need you to go door knocking first. So this is about making a 1-day commitment to canvass. A 1-day commitment to canvass for Zohran's campaign. So we just talked about pledging, texting people. If you have more capacity, we want you out there in the streets. knocking on doors. Not alone, you'll have the community with you in support. So, I'll lead by example. I will commit to one day to Canvas. Who else? Who else is going to commit to one day to Canvas? Come on. 1 day, okay. 59 days. And I think the most simple one is social media. Posting on social media, using the hashtag Muslim Vote. Take a bunch of photos here. We got a photographer here, capturing contact. Muslims for Zorhan, there you go. So just to recap that, make a pledge. Rank Zorhan is number 1, Adrian is number 2. Text 5 people, make a commitment, 1 day commitment, and post on socials. So just really quickly, who already has posted on socials about voting? I know I have. Okay, we need to get those numbers up. All right, if you haven't posted anything about voting, tonight is the night, because this is a great opportunity to use to post on your social media, get your followings, and get them knowledgeable on this. I'm going to round out with some important deadlines, okay? So just a couple more seconds. Deadline to change your party registration, that's already passed, unfortunately. Yeah. But if you are not registered to vote yet, there's still time to register. I think it's May 20th. If you don't know how to register to vote, that's okay. I didn't know either at one point. It's okay to ask questions. I'm here to help. People on the board are here to help. If you don't know, reach out to me or someone. We're more than happy to help people get mobilized and build power. Okay. Just a few more seconds here. So, in conclusion, this election isn't about one day. It isn't about the primaries. It isn't about today. It's about shaping the next 4 years of New York City. It's shaping the next 4 years. And it's about making sure our communities collectively are seen, heard, and respected. So, to wrap it up, who's ready to make some noise at the polls, all right? Let's go! All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to hand it off.
Let's give it up for Farhan. All right. The program's almost over. So, we have one more guest speaker who we want to give our undivided attention to. But I already know that people are getting very excited in the room and antsy, and that's normal. It's okay. I know there's a lot of energy here today. So I want to introduce the next speaker, who is coming to us from the Bronx and is the first Latina who has ever become the majority leader for the New York City Council. My sister and councilwoman, Amanda Farias. Come on out. She also represents a very large Muslim community in her district and has been incredible in ensuring that everything from language access is a priority to immigration legal services to making sure our community's voices are heard. So without further ado, I want you all to give her 2 minutes of your time, and it'll be quick, I promise you.
I don't even need 2 minutes. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm just happy to keep showing up for the people that show up for me. I have been coming out to your events and also receiving support electorally for years from the Muslim Democratic Club of New York. Love you guys so much. Always here to stand in solidarity and be a great ally. And I'm just really proud to be here with you for another year. And I'm just going to shout out the person that brought me here, which is Ramnath Singh, who made sure I came here this year. And I hope everyone had a really joyous Ramadan. And I will keep being here for every single one of you. So thank you so much for the time and the shout out, Ram.
Thank you, Councilwoman. The program's over. Almost. But it's great to be in community with everyone, but we're really here to take action. We have a slate of candidates we are supporting. A slate. So we need to hit the doors for all of our candidates across the city of New York. This is going to be a team effort, and to ensure that the team wins means that you all need to step up and support the candidates that we need to elect. So with that, I'm going to pass it to our sister Sabra.
My name is Sabra. If you don't know me, I am the NBC Live Secretary and former president of the club. We're still Nada, Ali Latif, and the Nisar Store, and Ishmi. I've been part of this club for 10 years, and I think this is the first moment in the past 10 years that I've ever thought, like, this is like the most significant thing I've ever seen in my life. And I think what's been challenging for me in this moment is sort of not seeing my community, seeing our community united. I've seen, people not really, have different opinions about whether or not, about different things, about how we can support Zoran, about whether or not we should support Zoran. And I think for me, that's been really demoralizing, because in this moment, more than ever, when we have a president who doesn't recognize our communities, we need a mayor who's willing to. And so, if we haven't already united and stood together, this is the moment that I think we need to come together. We've got 2 months left, and we need to make sure that we're hitting on as many doors as we can for Zoran. So, I want everybody in this room to make a commitment today that they're going to knock on at least, 100 doors by election day. They're going to commit to going on council for 4 hours every week. Because if there's any moment that we should be doing that, it's this moment. And that's how I'm gonna conclude. We have sign-up links all around the room, so please make sure that you sign up for a canvassing shift. It's just one of the most important things that we can do.
That's right,
The party's supposed to end it, so you gotta save the long OGs for last, because you're all meeting all the new folks, but there's some old OGs that have been part of our club and supporting our community for a very long time, since I was young too, Jamani. I don't care what you say, I was young. I was little when you started supporting our people. Folks, please give it up to our current New York City Public Advocate, and hopefully our next Public Advocate again with your support, our dear brother also from Brooklyn, because Brooklyn runs deep. Give it up to our dear brother, Jumani Williams.
Thank you so much. Salam alaikum. Peace and blessings. Love and light. Thank you, Yunus also. Been doing this for a minute. Where's Zoran? What's up, Zoran? You gotta tell me why people are more scared of you than Cuomo, man. That makes no sense at all. They're more scared. They're scared of free buses. I don't understand why they're scared of free buses. Zoran out here doing it. Free and fast buses. People were telling me Zoran can't do it, Zoran can't do it. Now they're telling me he can only be number 2. I said if he can be number 2, he can be number 1. So y'all gotta stop putting these caps over there. But I want to thank y'all. That's what they were trying to tell me from the beginning. Mad people. It's all right. But thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. I know y'all got to move on. I'm just excited to have your support one more time. We are in some tough times, from the White House to City Hall. I don't know what's going on with my brother Mayor Eric Adams. I don't know. I know we need to get past him as soon as humanly possible. And you know me, I try to talk the same in any room that I'm in. And so I was very concerned, because I joined a lot of my colleagues when October 7th happened, to say we have to condemn that and bring our hostages home. But a lot of my colleagues did not join me in saying we need an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. They did not lift up the humanity of the people in Gaza. And I said, how can you pray for the hostages in Gaza, but you can't pray for the people who are living there and getting killed? That makes no sense at all. And I refuse to allow the word Palestine and Muslim to be turned into some kind of slur. That makes no sense at all. And so, I can't solve the problems in the Middle East, but I know my people in this city are suffering, and you have to have leaders that can lift up the humanity of everyone. You literally have people saying that we want to remove folks from Gaza so we can take it. We can't allow that. And that is not something that is a slur. That is about the shared humanity in this world. So I thank y'all for your support. I just want to tell y'all something that I heard that really helped my soul, which was, it's okay to look at the darkness, just don't stare at it. And so we always in darkness to make sure you look away to your friends, to your family. The sun is still bright, the flowers smell beautiful, and let's try to be the light in the world for some of this darkness. I appreciate your support. Thank you, Simone.
Thank you so much, Public Advocate. We know you have a very busy schedule. Thanks so much for taking time for us tonight. Folks, we are coming up to the end of the program, but a couple of very important asks. We are going to do a group picture with Zohran. Everybody that wants to be in the group picture with Zohran, I need you to come and stand where I am, facing the same way that I am facing. We need you to